Now, our freshmen, I will answer individual questions about freshmen, but I will say this. Very excited about our freshman class. I think talent-wise, and the older classes don't want to hear this, I think it's as talented a class as we've ever signed. It's deep. We've signed 5 very good offensive linemen. We've signed 2 very good running backs. So we've got a good quarterback, 1 receiver. We didn't go after as many receivers. We got depth in the secondary now with our freshman class is going to back them up. Just about every position. So I think what we got is a lot of returning players and a good young class to push them. And I like the combination and chemistry. And I like what I've seen so far in 3 days. Now I'll open it up.
When you look at the freshmen coming in, it's going to be like a twofold question. You're now seeing
off early for twofold question.
Hey, but you're seeing kids you're recruiting now where other schools that showed them a lot of interest, they're showing Lamar, they're choosing Lamar, and now early on in the process, you're getting verbal commitment from kids who are still in high school. Does that say a lot for the progress of the program?
I think it does. I think maybe a little bit of what was holding us back some. We hadn't had a winning season, and there's some people kind of sitting back and won't wait to see us do that. And then with me getting a new contract and being on the front end of the contract, I think helps some too. But I think we hit it just right, and we hit it at a time where there was a very talented group of players out there, and we got our share of them. And I think we hit on some kids this year. Really.
What was the players' general reaction to being picked 8?
Same as mine. Okay, we still got a lot to prove. I think offensively, they're looking at we got another returning players, but we don't have a quarterback back. I took it as well. We need to go do it again and do more if we want to move up preseason. But that's what's so great about this is that you do it on the field, and then our conference champions decided on the field, and then the playoffs decide our national champion. So I like the way we do both. So it's there for us, and when it came out, I knew that our players would not like what we were picking, and at the right time I could use it, and I'll use it when I have to. We'll use whatever we can. That's definitely something I can use.
Coach, you spoke on the quarterbacks a little bit. What is the earliest you think you would make a decision, or are you planning on having a 2-quarterback system once the season starts?
If I had to give you that answer today, it would probably be Sam Houston before we try to narrow it down, just because we don't have scrimmages against other people. I don't think we can afford to redshirt either one of them, so we might as well let both of them play. So I see us going through camp with them splitting time and then splitting time against Tacoma. But
Coach, if the season started today, which quarterback would be number 1?
I'm glad the season didn't start today. I'll say this: I don't think either one of them at this point has distanced himself from the other. I think they both. If you just watch them series in, series out, one of the over 1-1 series back and forth, and they both are doing a very good job. And to be honest with you, I'm not just trying to deduct the question. I'm happy with both of them. I like their progress they made from the spring. And but right now, neither one of them has distanced himself from the other.
Coach, when I talked to you last week, you talked about this team had sort of a calm energy that you haven't seen before. Can you just expand on what you really were talking about?
Well, I think we just got a number of players back that's played in this league a while, and they know what they have to do, and there's not a lot of unknowns out there. You know, we've talked about the quarterback, but there's just a number of players and coaches back that have been through this together, and we know what we have to do, and we know that just talking about it's not going to get it done. We have to work. These players work extremely hard. They're in great shape, and their attitude's good, and it makes. We've gotten past some things, and that we can, as coaches, can really spend our time teaching because our players have been in our program a while. The program's been around a while, and they know what they have to do.
Looking at your schedule, I mean, the front part of that schedule, you know, when you start at Baylor, it gets pretty brutal because in back-to-back weeks, you know, at Baylor, at Sam, at Southeastern Louisiana. Matter of fact, the Sam and Southeastern Louisiana, you're not going to have much of a turnaround because that game's on a Thursday. how tough is it to get ready for, with the front end of the schedule so tough?
I'm just thinking what great shape we'll be in if we lose hand and 2-0 at conference. So it's there for us. Like you said, they'll come back, well, we got them both at home next year.
Right.
That doesn't help us a whole lot this year, but you got to play them sometime. It's there for us. It's going to be a challenge, and there's no way of saying they're not the teams to beat. That's the two to beat. They're ranked at the top for a reason, and I think deservedly so. But it's there for us.
You should have a strong offensive line. Your receiving core could possibly be the best in the conference. How important is that to make the transition into an offense that's going to have a new quarterback this year?
Well, I think if you're going to go with a new quarterback, it helps if you've got an experienced line and maybe give him a little extra time and a receiving core that's been there together. So I think that part of it's good. It's never a good time to have brand new quarterbacks, but if you're going to have them, I think this is a good. And running backs are back as well. So he's got a lot of guys around his plate.
Were you surprised that the 2 quarterbacks left last year, or did you know that might happen?
I think I was more disappointed than I was surprised. And I addressed that with the team. I don't think any player or fan or coach or anybody wants us to not build the best team we can. If we have an opportunity to get a good player, it doesn't matter the position, we're going to do it. And it just so happened that these 2 young men were available, and I thought that they would both benefit us. Now I'm glad we did, but I was a little disappointed in that.
Expanding off the offense a little bit, Langston obviously adjusting to his new role. What can fans see that's going to be different, I guess, with his offense than under Coach K?
I don't know if you'll see a lot difference as far as formations and plays. I think Chuck, because I know I sat in meetings, would like to run the ball more. That doesn't mean that we're going to, and that if it's not there, Chuck's not going to just run into a wall. But if he has his brothers and he can, he'd like to run the ball a little bit more. But I don't think you'll see too much of a change. But just mainly due to the fact that so many of the players back and we're going to keep the same scheme.
Speaking of Coach Langston, you notice the past few years on the sideline, fired up, big motivator, that type of personality. Is he going to be down there as the offensive coordinator, or is he going to be up in the booth?
Well, we'll see. Right now, he's planning on going up, but I told him I thought he either needed to go up or have somebody up that he could really rely on. I've done it both ways as a defensive coordinator. I've actually called on the field more than I've been up, but when I finally was forced to go up, I wouldn't have done it. I was a better coordinator. So I think he'll start out up.
What sort of stood out to you so far in practice, and then just since you guys been back, as team leaders, who's kind of stepped up for you guys so far?
On the defensive side of the ball, Sean Jones and Michael Hargis, at linebacker, really ran around and made just a bunch of plays. I'm purposely not going to say a freshman's name, but we've had a few freshmen on defense that's really caught my eye. Offensive side, I was looking at some of the younger linemen that kind of filled in spot play, mainly Connor Ward and Chase Woods. They both have came back and really looked good. And it's been a while since we've seen a completely 100% healthy Cade Harrington. He's got that burst back that he had prior to his injury, and we got to try to do everything we can to keep him healthy because he's kind of picked up where he left off. And then Brennan Langley caught the ball deep and ran past our secondary, and I think they did not realize how fast he was, and they found out. So we've had a number of players stand out so far, but we're going to be in pads one day, so by Saturday I have a better feel of things. But I like where we're headed. We put in 3 good days.
Understandably so, you don't want to talk about the freshmen a whole lot, but do a lot of them any of them really have a chance to play? Because you talked about Cade, you had all the plans to redshirt him coming in, and what he did on the field in practice, he ended up being a freshman of the year in the conference.
Oh, he did, and there will be as we go along. You'll see freshmen move up the depth chart, and what we do with freshmen now, they're not going to take a redshirt year off of them just to run them down on the kickoff. If we're moving them up and we're going to not redshirt them, they're going to play a lot. So you'll see that as we go along. We are to the point where we don't have to have a bunch of freshmen start for us to be good, but, as injuries happen and as we go along in camp, freshmen move up, because we do have a lot of talented freshmen. And by the time we play Sam Houston, we may have freshmen who's starting for us.
Special
And
teams.
would you say Katie's at 100% right now?
Kate Harrington?
Yeah.
Yes, and looking very good.
Special teams last year, of course, roller coaster to the point where y'all went for it on fourth down plenty of times throughout last year. It's a key situation. Sometimes it paid off. What does special teams look like going into this one?
Well, we got the same guys back, so I don't know if that is good or bad. We got the same guys back a year older, but I think you can't just put it on the kicker and the punter. It has to do with your players up front, and we got more depth, and that usually the more depth you have plays into your special teams more. But it'll more. I think you talk more about field goals, and that's that more down to my confidence and being able to go along. But I'm almost anti-Midas when it comes to kickers. I tend to take a good one and ruin them. But they're off to a good start, and we'll see. They're like I said, they're back, and they're more experienced. We'll see.
Do you start off with a clean slate, just forget about what happened last year with them?
I start off clean slate. I don't know if I forget about it, but hopefully every position player that's a year old is better, and I expect more out of both of those guys.
How many guys, that you can know right now are not gonna try to play at, this Saturday when you're scrimmage? Any of them that you're sure of?
I thought Brett Treadway, we would hold him out. He was cleared. He looks fine.
Craven?
Craven's out, and unless he would really come on in a hurry, we're probably going to redshirt him. So he's probably out. Yeah,
Wow.
we're not going to. It looks to me like now it's going to be a September to October thing, and if it's October, we'll just redshirt him. So we're right now in our mind, it'll be a bonus that we got him late. Other than that, we don't have anybody in camp that's injured, so we should have everybody else that's on the roster out there.
Real quick, I want to talk about a guy from last year, Joe Oka, first signed with the Steelers this past Friday. How's that make you feel, Brian?
I didn't get to play a whole lot last night. I was watching it, and we also had a guy from my hometown, which not many of us tied in for Minnesota, Chase Ford. I was kind of watching for both of them. I did see Joe after the ball game, but a great opportunity for him. I sent him a text, just attack, be aggressive, and because that's what they want. And what a great opportunity for him. I hope he makes the most of it. I know he will.
Coach.
Seeing a guy like Langley again, coming from Georgia, in a big D1 program like that, what kind of difference does he bring to a program like this?
Well, I mean, he's got the speed you want on the outside, and he's fitting well. A good student, done a great job in the classroom, and very conscientious guy. Wants to run the right routes, and he's really fit in. And I'm not saying that he can be as good as Mark Roberts, but he is a good replacement at that position. They're very similar in their speed and what he can bring, and hopefully we won't see a lot of drop off because he has a lot of talent and speed to go with him.
Scrimmage Saturday, what's the format going to be? What are you going to be looking for specifically?
This Saturday, there won't be a lot of moving the ball. We'll pretty much put the ball on the ground in scrimmage, and by the next Saturday, we'll have everything in the look like the game. But this Saturday, we may do some third downs and things of that nature. But it's pretty much put the ball in one spot and let's play football and get a good scrimmage in. Looking for improvement, looking for units. We're a week further along. This is a great week here. We got a full week. I don't know if we know what we're doing, but we've gotten a break in that with them being in summer school, we don't go till 7:30 at night all week. So God bless all you high school teams out there going at 3 in the afternoon right now. We did it yesterday, and we like to melt it. So, I'm not Catholic, but don't get after it. It's almost worked out really good for us because the night practices are just more energy because you're not zapped as quick in practice. But we got to fight through that some. But that's going to be really good for us to put in another full week in the shade, so to speak, before we scrimmage. But we should be further. Every week we got to get further along and get closer to playing them. But just look and see us play. To be honest with you.
How strongly did the public really perceive and come in your direction about getting those 8 wins last year, Ray? I mean, what kind of a public perception do you feel like is out there with what you've been able to do with your program?
You know, I don't know. I've gotten a little bit of, here, that's one thing, and I like it. I'm not complaining. That I can say about Southeast Texas, you can always know what people feel, because they have no problem coming up and telling me. A little bit of everything. First of all, overwhelming support, congratulating us, behind us. I'll have a few that still have not kept up, in my opinion, as much as they need to. Some are still surprised when y'all gonna have a winning season. Well, we just had one.
We just did.
When are you gonna beat McNeese? Well, we just beat this kind of thing. So we still got some work to do, getting the word out a little bit. But I had that happen to me. And so, but it was a great step, and that's all it was in my mind. We took a big step in the right direction, but we haven't arrived or anything like that. We still got a lot of work to do. But I think. I really do. I think if you've kept up with our program and followed it, I think we've improved every year. Even the year before, when we didn't win as many games, on the school board maybe that didn't show up, but you could see us take a step closer to being and getting competitive in the league, and then it showed up on the school board last year. I think we've taken steps and we've improved every year, and we expect to see that again this year.
Last year at the McNeese game, coming out second half, carrying a big club. Tell us a story on that.
There's not a lot to that. I don't know. There's something they left over here. I don't even know who they are. That could just be one person. I don't know. But it was left when they went on a conference game on the road. Was bringing the wood. They leave a piece of rock. They could be a fan. I don't know. But apparently, somebody on our side saw it and kept it, and we returned it this past year.
Did you leave it over there?
I did.
It wasn't left over there.
Huh?
Was it left over there?
It was left over there.
Okay.
So, and I was told it was the same piece of wood, but I can't for sure say it was. But, okay. Long time before we played McNeese.
What's the most recent game?
I hear you.
At least next time, could you make a wager, including like a Daryl special or something like that?
Yeah.
Well, that'd be good.
Without that.
Really good. That's right. That's actually what we had after the game over there.
I hate to get back to quarterbacks, but I guess get a little more in detail with the two that are fighting it out for the lead.
Well, I think Joe came in with more experience. He obviously been at SFA for 4 years, had conference experience. Looked like he was ahead of Carson early. As we went along in spring ball, Carson, like I said, is very intelligent, very athletic. Slowly caught up with him. And the spring game was kind of a wash. I thought they both did some really good things. Both of them stayed here, both summer sessions. Both of them stayed here and through with our receivers, worked on time and those kind of things. They both come into camp, and I thank goodness Carson's a lot taller than Joe, because I can really tell them apart. You would think Carson being the taller that Joe would be the better runner, but Carson's actually the better runner of the two. But they both do a lot of really good things, and what both of them do a good job of. They just run the offense. They don't force the ball. They don't turn the ball over. They're very intelligent with it, and I like that. They're further along than say Caleb was 2 years ago, mainly due to the fact that they're older. And I'm not knocking Caleb. I'm very happy with Caleb, but they both, for the little Lamar experience they have, both look like experienced quarterbacks, and I like that.
What's the relationship like between the two competing quarterbacks? I mean, is it friendly? Is it contentious? How do they work together?
It's friendly, but neither one of them talk a whole lot, so you're not going to get a whole lot. I think Joe will talk a little bit more than Carson, but neither one of them is a rah-rah guy. Neither one of them is gonna be your vocal leader anyway, so, that probably works for them. They don't have to worry about the other one talking too much. Neither one of them is a big talker, and that's fine. We got enough guys on our team to talk. We got plenty to make up for that.
Ray, speaking of leaders, who on offense and defense, who do you consider your leaders? The guys you gotta pull aside and say, okay, jack them up, you know?
I think offensively, first, Reggie Beckleton's just been here and has done so much in the record books and stat-wise, and he's a local guy, and he's somebody that demands respect. And our receiving core to go with him are all, you know, his friends, and they all have been here a while. So probably our receiving core is more vocal than the other positions. Justin Brock up front has played for 4 years, it'll be his 4th year to play, but Justin talks about as much as Carson. He's not gonna talk a lot, but that's probably where we are offensively. Defensively, if leading is talking, then we got a ton of leaders over there, because boy, we talk a lot. But we do. I mean, we're not gonna get out, I guarantee you, we're not gonna get out-talked on defense this year, I promise you that. No team will come in here and out-talk us, but so we're very vocal there, so that's not gonna be a problem. But I like it, we got a good energy, and we don't have the cockiness, but they do talk it up, and I can almost tell how we are by how our defense do. They're not chatting, we're tired. I mean, I can tell where we are defensively by if we're talking it up or not. So, but we've got good energy. We got good energy. We got good leadership. I'm not complaining at all. I like this team.
And can you speak just a little bit more about Cade and sort of, you know, his skill set and, you know, why he won the job and just a little bit about him?
Well, Cade came in a year that we had a bunch of guys back defensively, and we were very young offensively, and we thought defensively we'd have to carry the team early on until our offense had a chance to catch up. And Cade, we were his only offer. He had a good highlight reel, and he just did well, but Cade, physically, his stature, you know, when you meet him, now he's a little more rocked now, but you just don't see him on the hoof. You don't think he's going to be he's a rings is what I call him. But he came in, like I said, we really thought we had a lot of guys back on defense, and we put the pads on, started handing the ball, we couldn't tackle. And I started watching this, and I said, well, either we're not near as good defensively as we think we're going to be, or that guy's really good. And I'm hoping that guy's really good, because this is the best we got, and they can't tackle him. And it went that way. And then, about mid-season, he starts limping, complaining of a sore leg, and we really put him in a boot all week, and then take it off for game day, and we didn't know after the season he had a broke leg. He played 5 games with a broke leg. So then he came back this past year and did what he did and hurt his knee and played with an injured knee. So I mean, as good as he's been for us and the stats that he's got, we haven't had him a whole year healthy. And if we do that this year, like I said, I'd like to see him play the second half to see him healthy so he can put up numbers for us. But this is a very special young man, and very, very excited to have him 2 more years.
Right. Changes you made a few years ago in the weight room. I know you've made some coaching changes. Are those things really starting to pay off? Because these guys look like animals out there now.
Well, yeah, I think Josh Miller and now Corey Castro they're doing a very good job, and our players really have taken to their type of coaching and teaching. I watched them. I just pee out my water and see what they're doing, and my goodness, they do 10 times what we did in the off season. And our guys are in shape. Our guys are ready to go, and we're bigger, stronger, faster because of it. And conditioning won't be a problem with us this year. I mean, our guys are in great shape.
What's a little more detail on Craven's, because he's a returning starter, knee? What happened with the knee?
I want to say MCL. One of his ligaments, I don't know. He's had it operated on. I think I might be pushing him more than, trying to get him back, and I say pushing, hopefully. But I don't think he'll be back this year, to be honest with you. And it would be one of those things, if we got 4 games left, we got a chance to win the conference, and we got beat up, and he was there maybe, but we're really wanting to try to redshirt him so we can have him 2 more years. Very good player. I'd like to have him 2 more years.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions for Coach? Speak now, forever hold your peace.
Yeah, we're not talking about freshmen.
Well, we talk about freshmen, but before y'all turn them off, we need to talk about one other thing, separate from this. Our banquet, we need to get more tables filled. We need to have more, people buy tickets to come to that thing. I haven't kept up, but it being a week earlier, we're a week closer than we normally are this time of camp. And, coming off our best season, and I think Coach Brown will do a great job. We need to get more people involved with the banquet. I was told to mention that he was supposed to be involved in this, but that's all right.
So, coordinate that through Angel?
Yeah, you can call our office, you can call the ticket office, either one. You can get individual tickets or tables, and it ought to be a great night. We've got a lot to look forward to, and I've never heard Coach get down and talk. I'm looking forward to that as well. Okay, now, you want to talk about freshmen? We talk about freshmen. I didn't, y'all, if you ain't gonna bring up, I'll talk about it. I just don't.
A little bit about your background and coaching that you had before and then coming to Lamar. Just make it really friendly and formal, that kind of stuff. And just kind of give a shout out to those. So we want this to be fun. It's in the university. This is a thing that you want to friends on Facebook to see. So tell us about the season, tell us about how we got involved, tell us about the leadership role. I know your thoughts to serve yourself. So if you would, let's just kind of go from there.
Expectations on the season. I believe we're going to do a lot better than everybody picked us. I mean, I did pick us 8th, I think. And I think we're on the best season Lamar's had since they brought it back. You know, 8-4 was a good record last year, but we're looking to be better than that. As far as the team goes, I think our chemistry is better than it's ever been in my 3 years here. And ever, I've never played on a team as close as this, including high school. Leadership, yeah, we have some good leadership on the team. We have some guys that are willing to follow, so that's always good. And shout out, I guess, fellow D-lineman Corbin Carr, I've been playing with for 5 to 6 years, and then Tebow and everybody else.
Well, you know, sometimes in a game, you kind of got to look to that player or two that's going to retire in the 4th quarter. Everybody's kind of dragging. Are you going to be one of those guys that's going to step up?
Yeah, I believe so.
You got the guys, get everybody back. Lamar kind of knows who Lamar is. Lamar, this is your 2nd year?
Yes, no, 3rd year.
3rd year, that's right. I mean, as a freshman, you pretty well played quite a bit.
Yes, sir.
So, I think you made all this last year.
Yes, sir.
Right there, and pretty much a leader and a powerhouse in the weight room over there. And so I think the fans, and I think probably for yourself, are expecting good things this year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, we asked one of your fellow defensive guys, 4th quarter, we're tired, man, we're dragging, and we need somebody to step up and be a leader. Are you going to be that leader?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what we
I do
want.
whatever I have to do for my team.
Well, I know your family comes out and supports you, and I think this year, Coach kind of indicated that he's expecting a lot of his defensive players. He's expecting them to step up and keep other folks put a lot of points on the board when you play catch up for a while.
No, sir.
So, are there any expectations you have of yourself?
I expect myself, my stats from last year, I want them all, every last one of them, I want to be more, I want to be better. I don't want nothing less. I want everything to be better. I want our defense to be better as one. I want myself to be better. And that's what I'm working out here hard doing, trying to do.
Do you think other players kind of follow your lead when they see you sweating and tired, just like they are? But you see you get up ready to make that next play?
I mean, they should, because a bunch of them, they're not big as me.
Right.
So, I mean, if I can do it, I feel that you can do it.
Right.
So, yes, I do feel that way.
Do you see any young players out there that look like they're going to maybe be able to step up and kind of watch and
Yes, sir.
learn from your guy?
Yes, so we have a good amount of transfers, and we have freshmen coming in. I feel that they're going to play. I feel that they're going to fight for their leading positions. We have some pretty big guys coming in, pretty fast, pretty strong, which is exactly what we need. The more guys we have able to play, the better everything is.
Well, do you feel like Lamar's kind of getting known as a place that people want to come play?
Yes, sir. It's just a school that's steady on the rise. It's steady building and building and building.
Is it easy for you to go back to your high school and then your kids are like, how's it like up there? What's it like?
It's all the time. Every time I go back home, go back to the high school, to see me in the store or anything, I always get asked questions. They see me on the post and everything, they think it's so cool. Well, I mean, I do too.
And that's where it starts, is the little kids.
Yes,
Little
sir.
kids playing football and
Yes,
stuff like
sir.
that, you know? They want to come and be like that. 'Cause I see them up in the stands. I see them hollering at you from the stands.
Yes, sir.
Real proud to have you back. I hope you have a great season.
Yes, sir.
And, I thought he's probably going to own every record at Lamar for receiving before he leaves here. And as a good football player as he is, he's a pretty much a good fisherman. I can't get word to it. How good a fisherman he is. And I understand this year he kind of took Kate Harrington under his wing and is kind of teaching Kate a little bit about fishing. But what we're really here to talk about is football. And I asked Coach Woodard in the meeting earlier who he looks to for leadership on the offense. And of course, he said your name. He said, well, I looked at Reggie and our receiving corps. You and the other receivers for Lamar. Can you kind of tell us how you're looking at it, how you look at it as far as you're down by a touchdown, need a score, need to make that first down. How do you guys talk among yourselves?
I mean, on the sideline, we as a receivers core are the playmakers on the team. So we keep our core is we know that this game is a yo-yo game. We know that we can turn the tables with just one play. So we have to keep our composure on the sideline. It don't matter who it goes to, we believe the next person next to us to make that play.
Right.
So it's not a selfish game between us.
And I notice when I see the receivers running routes, whether you know the ball's coming to you or not, everybody seems to run the route hard. You know, there's no slugging, although it ain't coming to me.
That's a big philosophy because of that. If you don't know what you're doing, run full speed,
Right.
not knowing what you're doing. As long as you run full speed, you're helping the offense out because some routes are clear out routes.
Right.
You helping this person get open. It's not going to go to you. You're helping this person get open. Everybody has a rule.
Well, you know, last year, Mark was able to make a lot of the big plays for us. I guess some of the burden going to shift on you, but we did get some help. We got some transfers in. So tell us a little bit about that, how their transfers fit into your kind of close-knit group.
Well, currently we only have one transfer at the receiver.
Right.
He's doing well. He's another burner on the outside.
Yeah, that's all we know. And, you know, and how does, I mean, personality-wise and things like that, you took him fishing yet?
He's not one of those type of guys. He's a city boy.
City boy. TTK was a city boy one day.
TTK is a country boy. By heart.
Well, look, I appreciate you taking the time to visit with us, and we hope to see great things on the field, and give us that OLU. LU. Quarterback at Lamar, Cardinals football here. Can you tell us your perspective coming in this year, and kind of, is it what you thought it was going to be? I know there's competition out there, because it's pretty tight-lipped, you know, it's you guys, both of them, right there. And so what's your perspective on that? Is Lamar kind of what you thought it would be as far as the school, as far as how the players treated you coming in, how the coaches have treated you coming in, and then I know offense pretty much what you had before, isn't it? I mean, is it similar to what you were used to?
Similar in ways.
Well, what do you feel is your strongest asset as far as Coach made a comment earlier? He said, you know, Carson's a little taller. I got what he spot him. He said, you would think he wouldn't be as good a runner. He said, but actually he's a very good runner. So how do you feel as far as a dual threat that you fit in with?
I mean, I don't really try to label myself as anything.
Just make plays happen.
Just try to play and
well,
do the best I can.
he shared with us that you hadn't made a beat yet, so that you're a pretty smart guy.
Yes, sir.
And I think that goes a long way. I've never seen a successful team have a dome quarterback. Now, I've been told that Terry Bradshaw wasn't the smartest guy out there in college for grades, but again, that's what Hall of Fame people. Yeah. But so this heat, how's this heat affecting you guys out of practice?
It's pretty hot yesterday.
Well, I know everybody's ready to go back to the 7:30 practice.
This week it'll be nice.
Now, when you were making a decision as to where you were going to go to college, how'd you end up here?
Well, I went on a few visits at Navarro, and I like this the best, you know.
Right.
Had awesome facilities, and I like the coaching, and it just felt like the right place.
Well, did you feel like with Caleb graduating that you had a good chance to come in here and start?
There was an opportunity, for sure.
And where were you from? Your high school originally?
I went to Robinson High School in Waco.
Waco, okay. It's a football program. Okay. How are you adapted to the area? You like Bowman pretty well?
I do. I actually, my parents live in Crockett, Texas now, which is East Texas, so
yeah.
You know, same climate and all that, so it hasn't been too big of an adjustment.
Right. Well, how's it feel knowing you got some pretty good running back, a good offensive line? You're not going to have to run for your life. Because I think this year we're going to have one of the top offensive lines in the conference. So that gives the quarterback a little more time to do something. Are there some goals you've set for yourself?
I mean, honestly, not really. I just try to take it one day at a time and keep getting better every day.
I got you. Hey, are you going to emerge as that leader that we need on offense? I mean, every great team, the quarterback is the leader on offense. Right. We've got some pretty cocky receivers, and you got a lot of good leadership there. But I still think from the quarterback position, you got to have a
Definitely. I mean, it has to be somebody that the team can look to, somebody that is always doing the right things, and is working harder than anybody else.
Well, and I agree with that. I agree with that. They see you set that example and set that bar up high, they're going to follow what you say. Because sometimes when people are tired, they don't want to listen, whatever. But if you're that guy that can go in the huddle and say, okay, guys, we need a first down. So, really happy that you're here with us at Lamar. Where are you from? And let us know what position you play. So then let's talk about your offensive line and what we're expecting this year.
I'm from Silsbee, Texas, about 30 minutes up the road. We're expected to make playoffs this year. It's the best offensive line we've had since we've been here. So, left tackle we upgraded, center we upgraded, 2 transfers.